Well, hello everybody, and thanks for watching. Welcome to the first video of 2024, celebrating my first music haul of the year. Now, you might remember that I got a gift certificate for 20 bucks for Poobah Records out in Pasadena. So I headed out to Poobah's a couple of days ago, and let me show off what I picked up. Now, I had a $20 gift certificate, right? I spent more than those 20, so I'm not sure if that $20 bought a couple of $10 albums or did it buy all of the $4 and $5 albums. It doesn't really matter, right? It's all in the pot. And it actually helped to push me over the edge anyway to buy that much music. So let's see what I picked up. Starting off, the Dicky Betts Band. Now, you might know Dicky Betts from the Allman Brothers, like the second guitarist with Dwayne Allman, who gave us that distinct guitar sound of the Allman Brothers and who wrote a few of their more popular songs. So after the Allman Brothers, well, of course, Dicky Betts goes out and gets himself his own band. This is their debut album. What is this? Pattern Disruptive. It's all right. It's okay. Starting off, first impression, it's not bad, but it's not quite just a continuation of the Allman Brothers sound, which I'll have to confess is a little bit what I was looking for. Betts is very good in his own right as a songwriter and as a guitarist. And so we get some of that great guitar work of his in here, but it's different, you know. And side two, it's different in the sense that it's not the Allman Brothers. So don't expect them like I did. A foolish presumption, right, on my part, I'm sure. But either way, it's decent. It's decent enough that I didn't listen and feel, oh, this, I wasted my money. But what it is it's different enough, it's rocking enough that I've got to give it another couple listens, and I bet it grows on me. Just first impressions, I didn't walk away feeling, wow, fantastic. So I got to listen to this a couple more times, but as I said, pretty sure it's going to grow on me. Still just going to take a little getting used to for me. Next up, a slight disappointment. Big Youth Reggae live at Reggae Sunsplash. This is recorded back in 1982, right around the time that I was really loving reggae, the roots reggae sound. And it's, again, it's not bad, but it's not great. And he's got a couple of covers in here where he covers songs that just don't inspire me. If anything, that's what I would say. Not it doesn't really inspire much. It's a great album if I want to throw it on and want to wash the dishes. Or I want to throw it on and do laundry and be in and out of the room and not really focus too much. Just kind of hear the beat, and I know it's a reggae beat, and I know what's going on, but it's kind of low energy and kind of just there in the background. So, not really great and driving record for me. Slight disappointment. Big Youth. Next up, Los Angeles in the 80s. This was big. And I had this album, the original release, back on the release in the early 80s, and this, as so many past albums I've mentioned, this was taken from me in the great punk rock robbery of the 80s, and so I never replaced it. I've seen it in the bin a couple of times and walked by it because I was like, yeah, the Go-Go's. I don't really feel like throwing that record on and listening to it. Well, this time I did. Price was right. It was like $3.99. Let's grab it. For historic sake, and besides, as I played it again, I'm reminded of what a good album this is. Beauty and the Beat, of course, We Got the Beat. It's got some other really good songs on here that I haven't heard since back in the day. Uh, Tonight, um, This Town, Our Lips Are Sealed. These are all on here. Good cuts, very good cuts. Good, dancey, new wavy, early 80s. As I said, great memories of being in LA. I don't know about you and the rest of the country, but this was a big album, and this was big on the playlist, and this was big on my turntable, big at our parties back in the day. So I'm glad to have it back in my collection and glad to play it. And, as I say, it's held up as the years have gone by. Sure, it's dancey and it's poppy. That's what it's supposed to be. Not everything is, great heavy rock or great punks trashing the system. Once in a while, you want a good dance record from the 80s, and this fits the bill. Here, also another great steal. I think this was like $4.99 or $3.99. Another great steal. Speaking of good dance records from the early 80s, this coming from the Blasters, Non-Fiction. Great rockabilly, Americana, roots music, whatever you want to call it, good old rock and roll. Influenced from the rockers of the 50s, but updated through an 80s filter. You've got Phil and Dave Elvin, Steve Berlin on sax. Really great songwriting. They're not just covering old Jerry Lee Lewis songs, but they've got the old Jerry Lee Lewis vibe, filtered through an 80s rockabilly sensibility, and with that unique voice of Elvin's. So just really good record. I'm glad to have come upon this. Any and all Blasters vinyl that I find is usually an automatic grab unless it's overpriced. Now, I'm not going to say overpriced, but these were the higher priced albums that I bought. And this first one here is The Surprise of the Music Hall. Golden Earring Live. I have one of their albums, Moontan. It was like their biggest album, at least here in the States anyway. Did you know these guys are from Holland or Denmark, something, one of those kind of countries where they have dykes and tulips? These guys are from Europe over there, and that Moontan was their biggest album here in the States. And that's the only album I had in my collection. But I like their sound. And so I grabbed this when I saw it. This was like $9.99, Golden Earring, double LP. I was very happy that, hey, $10 for a double LP, great. Now, it was a surprise in two ways. Surprise number one. Let's see if you can pick this up. See if you can pick this up on the video and see what the album looks like. The album itself has these kind of, look at that, see that? The album itself has this kind of like, I don't know, scratchy, screechy marks on it. See that? I try to wash them out, and they're all around. Two albums, all four sides have these horrible marks on them, which, try as I might, I couldn't wash them out. I thought, it's just dirt, I'm going to clean it out. Well, when I cleaned the album, nothing happened. Surprise number one, I play the album. Clean. Whisper clean. No snaps, crackle, pops. No skips. No annoying, just continual popping in the back of every time the album passes one of those marks. Those marks are on the album, but the cartridge is not picking it up, and the speakers are not giving me any kind of bad background sound because of it. You wouldn't even know it's there. The album plays great. And so, surprise number one, is regardless of the physical appearance of the album, it plays smooth, it plays quiet, it plays clean. Very happy for that. Surprise number 2, Golden Earring. This album, and the other reason why I grabbed it is because this album is from those big double album live concert albums of the 70s on vinyl. A very special kind of, a very special era in vinyl to me. Back in the days, back in the old days, many people from today probably have no idea. You couldn't take cameras, you couldn't take any kind of recording equipment. They searched you before you went in. They almost never got any kind of recorded concert except for whatever they released on an album whenever the bands decided to release it. And even then, it was no guarantee that you were going to get quality sound and a quality concert recording. Well, that happened here. So back in those days, if you didn't go to the concert, you pretty much didn't see any images from it, and you pretty much certainly didn't hear anything from it. Today, within hours of a concert being played, the whole thing is on YouTube in 4K video that somebody up front recorded for you, which is great in its own right. But there's something special about these concert albums from the 70s where this was the kind of the only record that you got of the entire tour. And so it was really kind of special. And if you got a good recording, good production values out of that live experience, out of that live recording experience, then you got something special on vinyl. And that's what happened here. 2 albums, 4 sides, very good rock and roll. I didn't even know all these songs, but the ones I do know, just such great renditions, very good live reproduction, and even more beyond that, jamming. I mean, there's like a 9 to 10 minute Radar Love on here. I wanted to mention very quickly one other cut that's on here, 8 Miles High by the Byrds. They cover it. I think it's like an 11-minute cover on here. 9 times out of 10, if I'm driving in my car and that Byrds original version comes on, I change it because I just don't dig it. But it does have those psychedelic guitars that are happening. And that's what Golden Earring jumped on. Stretched it out with jam session of psychedelic guitar playing. Fantastic. What a great cut. Is it somewhere else? Did they cover it on another album, another one of their studio albums? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not that huge of a Golden Earring fan that I know they put it down on wax somewhere else on the studio version. But they've got it here live, and this is a brilliant version of that song. I love it. Makes me love it. So this album is right now my top live album that I'm playing a lot. Love it. Finally, one more a bit of a surprise. And the highest priced album that I bought, it's not even an LP, it's an EP. $24. Retail, brand new price, right? What you pay for an album nowadays. But it's not an album, it's an EP, and it's from Record Store Day that just recently passed. So Record Store Day, expensive, right? That's what it's becoming nowadays. And limited edition. Limited edition, a little bit pricey, but I had to have it, and I wanted it. When I saw the Record Store Day list come out, this is the only album that I wanted. But for whatever reason, I didn't go that day. I think it was raining and it was really cold here. And I just didn't want to go out and stand in line for an album. The chances are I only wanted one. And chances are I wasn't going to get it by the time I got in. I figured it would be gone. And so I just gave up on wanting this album. Well, when I went to Poobah, what did I find but one copy of the one album that I wanted in the bin? I could say I used my $20 gift certificate to buy this. Here we go. Scratched. Lee Scratch Perry and Keith Richards, two longtime music icons, legends in reggae and rock and roll, and the blending of the two. Keith has always been a fan of the music and has often incorporated it in his own personal sounds and in the Stones productions. Lee Scratch Perry, uh, just a reggae legend. This is a exclusive 2,000 copies only record store day. These are cuts that were made when Scratch Perry was recording an album back in 2008. So they've kind of been around a little while in the studio. I'm not sure if they touched them up a bit and pushed them up, punched them up a bit before they pressed it. But either way, these tracks have been kind of floating around since 2008, 2010, since a couple of Perry's recording sessions where he was making other albums, and these songs did not get on there. EP, only 4 songs, but these 4 songs are gold. Let me tell you. Side one, and look at this red vinyl, a beautiful, beautiful vinyl. They call it red. It's never quite red to my eyes, though. This is kind of like, I don't know what, magenta, fuchsia, something like that. But it's a really nice color, beautiful color. Got the label on there. And it's got, as I say, it's got 4 songs. It's got Books of Moses, Heavy Voodoo on side A. Those are with the lyrics. Remember I was saying I like the roots style of reggae? That's what's happening here, baby. Very rootsy reggae. Not that dance hall kind of stuff. Bossa Nova, or whatever the heck has come recently also. Not that. I mean, just give me that roots rock reggae sound. And that's what's happening here. Side 2 are dubs, a couple of dubs. Moses Books dub and Who Dares dub. And those have Keith on guitar pushed up, leading the guitar on the dubs. And his guitar is happening on the side A cuts. But, you know, of course, the vocals are pushed up because Lee Scratch Perry is singing on there. But you hear Keith on that side A guitar cuts. They sound almost like B.B. Kingish. They sound kind of like B.B. King kind of riffs that he's dropping into a reggae deep beat and making it work. Love this album. I could just play this thing over and over and over, which I did yesterday. So such a good album, such a good find. I'm glad I found it. Record store day exclusive. A couple months later, a few months later, but I got it. So thank you very much, Mary, for my gift certificate. It went a long way and then some. Thanks for watching, everybody. Very good music haul. And I'll see you next time for something else, right? Peace.